how many of you were in here just a second ago? Did you see the last presentation? That was really exciting. That was the first time we've done a team presentation. That was really well. That was great. I want to thank everyone who's coming to the presentations. Remind people to use technology responsibly during the presentations, and remind you that the question and answer session that happens at the end of each presentation is an important part of the presentation, and that the point of that session is to let students show you more about what they know. So if you ask a question, make sure that what you're doing is asking a question. Okay, the 20 minutes that students have in the front of the room is their 20 minutes, and we want to honor that. Without
You hear that? That is a sound that will distract you from anything you're doing and will make you stare at its feet. That is the sound of this generation's indoctrination. Anytime you hear the sound, your head turns to wherever it came from, no matter if it's your phone or somebody else's. Companies such as Apple and Samsung have created devices so we can connect with those around us and those far from us at all times. By implementing social media, improving portability, and facilitating communication, these companies have created one of the biggest addiction epidemics of the 21st century. Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, and all this social media applications claim to facilitate communication and that they create connections. But when seen from a broader perspective, are they creating true communications, I ask you? Can we form true bonds and relationships through devices? It's a natural way of communication for humans. You know how much harm these devices can cause you in the long run. Hello, my name is Enrique Fernandez, and the topic I researched this term for my senior oral defense topic was screen addiction. The title of my presentation is How Stupid Are Smart Devices? Can Screen Addiction Disconnect Us?
In today's modern world, you can watch what you're doing, or you can watch where you're going, but you can't do both. And now, you don't have to, thanks to Guiding Hands. At Guiding Hands, we understand how important it is to stay connected when you're on the go. Simply request a guiding hand, and within seconds, we'll be at your side, ready to guide you to your destination. Let us navigate your world so you can navigate the web. Your guiding hand will give custom strategies that will force you to look at. We look out for you, so you can keep an eye on the things that matter. Enjoy the security that comes to knowing you are finally, truly connected.
Although this is a parody, it does show some key behaviors of screen addicts, like neglecting family and putting off any work just to stare at a screen. So I would like to define for you what a smart device is. A smart device is defined as a device connected to a network that can operate autonomously or interactively. Also, I would like to start my presentation by saying what the symptoms of screen addiction are. Excessive or inappropriate use. Excessive or inappropriate use of smart devices is one of the main signs that a person is screen addict. Using their phones for extended periods of time and multiple times in a day, or using it at times when it is inappropriate, such as driving or walking down the street. According to USA Today, 1 in 4 car accidents are caused by smartphone use while driving. And the Telegraph reports that teens spend an average of 27 hours a week using the internet. To put this into perspective, this means that 1 out of every 7 seconds in a teen's life goes to using a smart device. Another of the symptoms is insomnia. Having these devices in the bedroom causes humans to lose sleep quality and quantity. The activist poll states that all electronic devices, including cell phones, tablets, iPads, and TVs, emit a blue light from the screen. The body interprets this blue light as daylight. Therefore, the brain sends out a signal to wake up. Losing sleep will decrease our day's productivity, and it can lead to more aggressive behavior, as well as increased stress and derivative conditions. Especially when these devices are introduced at an early age, they can cause a lot of social trouble, according to the activist books. This can have a long-term effect of being tired when socializing or being uncomfortable with basic social skills. Smart device use can also lead to neglecting of friends and family, like we saw in the video. Furthermore, this can cause a drug abuse. Not having the basic social skills means that you have the set of skills to say no, and when offered these, you don't know what behavior you might want to take. Also, not having social skills leads to an antidepressant use. Therefore, it can lead to an antidepressant abuse. Stress and health risks. Being so attached to these devices can result in an increase in stress, whether it is from a low battery or separation anxiety. These can develop into disorders such as phantom vibration syndrome, which is a syndrome that the brain is so accustomed to getting vibrations and notifications from the devices that it creates a fake one because it hasn't received one in a long time. Your body basically requests the phone to vibrate and to have social activity. Increasing stress can lead to the shortening of telomeres. Telomeres are compound structures at the end of chromosomes that have been known that when they're shortened to increase the aging process and cause diseases like cancer. Screen addiction has been linked to different health issues like cancer, obesity, and drug abuse. Cancer is because the phones and other vibrating devices emit a non-ionizing form of radiation. Obesity is caused by a lack of exercise, and drug abuse is caused because of the lack of social skills. My solutions are a later introduction to children. Later introduction to children can help them develop basic social skills and form bonds with family and friends, which are necessary in further life. This will help them become more well-rounded adults in the future. And also, this is the only form of prevention known for screen addiction. Setting a curfew on devices will help keep track and limit use. By limiting use, we can get used to not having these devices around and being disconnected from the internet. This will help us stay connected to what's actually happening around us and not what will happen far from us. Setting personal boundaries for devices helps in various forms. For example, banning phones from the bedroom will help get a better quantity and quantity of sleep. Banning them from the dining room will help because it will increase the social interaction a kid might get. Also, banning them from workspace and academic space will increase productivity drastically. We must not let these devices become a part of our identity. Thank you.
Did you find any research linking excessive use of phones or devices to drug abuse, or is that an assumption or a cause that you thought?
It is not an assumption. I found research that it's not only phone use, but also any device where you interact with people online and you lack the basic social skills, then it says it might lead to drug abuse. It's not a must.
What's the connection?
It's the connection of lacking basic social skills that you won't know how to say no when offered them, and then when you don't get that a first connection to people, social connection, then you might resort to antidepressants because you have people to relate to. You feel frustrated.
You have kind of numbers or statistics showing the decrease in productivity and the use of smartphones?
Not specifically, but I do have one of my statistics that show that 27 hours a week is how teens from 16 to 24 use them. And that's a working age, and that's like almost a full working week.
Are there any solutions that are like just within our household?
Well, I didn't find any in the scope of my research, but the one that because it's more of a personal problem that I solved through basic habits.
I quite agree with you that it's an epidemic, but to play devil's advocate, they said the same thing about TV. They said the same thing about radio. Like every generation when there's these new technologies, everyone worries. You know, I was told as a kid, TV's gonna melt your brain.
And it did, obviously.
Right. So, I mean, every new technology has its critics. So, do you have any response to that, or what's the other argument towards it?
The other argument is that it increases productivity because it helps us develop skills that we are using right now in high school since very basic age. But then I don't know about TVs because that's another case.
So what recommendations you have from the school, considering that they do a bring your own device program, and it doesn't seem that they've considered any of the information that you've given?
Well, used responsibly, technology will always increase productivity and it's more efficient. But when used in extended periods of time and if it's not overlooked, it might create problems for kids, such as screen addiction or decreasing productivity when they're doing academic work, because especially in classes, Facebook opens automatically. That's not.
So with that said, when does it become responsible for the user? Such as smoking, for example. Because if you're talking about addiction, at what point in time you put something on, what's a bonus onto the user instead of just sort of blaming the manufacturer of the product itself?
Well, when the user uses it at a point, is using it at a point where they need the device. It's not. I don't think it's the manufacturer's responsibility at all. I think it's totally on the consumer, because they are the ones that are using the devices inappropriately or excessively. You can't blame, for example, car accidents on the manufacturer of phones because you were using your phone while driving. There's regulations for all this.
To move off of that question, do you believe that human beings can multitask?
There's proven research that they can't. That was in the scope of my research. The brain switches from one thing to another. So even though you might be able to switch it in a fast way, you can't really complete two tasks at one time.
So perhaps to go back to what Ms. Kelty said when you were talking about television and radio, television especially, okay? Originally it was like this kind of big clunky box that was in your living room.
Yeah.
But now we have this thing that's like every kind of distraction possible that we carry around with us. So is it the technology itself, or is it the fact that we're trying to multitask in consciousness in contexts where that is not appropriate?
I feel like the adaptation to the phone being portable and us having it being connected the whole time, I feel like that is the cause of all of this. So, wait, can you repeat the second part of the question?
Yeah, so what I'm saying is it the device itself that is the problem, or is it the connectivity that's the problem? The fact that we're deciding to and being asked to do multiple tasks in contexts where we should only be focusing on one thing. The video demonstrated this.
I think it can be taken both ways. I think that it is a part of the connectivity, that it feels like a responsibility to us. So that's why we multitask. And it's a part of the device's portability as well. And some of the software in it, because the vibrations and notifications, they validate saying just make a slow at any time. So it don't distract us from any task that we're doing.
And when you said it makes us do it,
Well, screen addicts, they have like an instant response to notifications. That's why in the video presentation, I put the sound.
The solutions that you propose, who do you think should be the perpetrator of implementing? Like, for example, the banning of the cell phone in some areas and in some situations. Do you think that government programs should try to incentivize people to shift public opinion towards that? Or do you think it should be the consumer's conscious conscious choice to decide what and what not to?
I think you can fully subsidize this and make people go into programs, but I feel like it would be more effective as a choice from the consumer to completely get it out of the lives, because then it's like smoking. Like if you're still tempted to smoke when you make the choice yourself. I believe.
You mentioned in your presentation about that what causes, like what the reason why phones cause cancer is because it releases
non-ionizing radiation.
can you elaborate, like what is non-ionizing radiation? If that was in the scope of your
No, it's not in the scope of my research. But,
and also like there's like that's a hot debate in it right now, like whether technology causes cancer or not. Like did you read anything about like what's the counter argument? Like what do people use to say that, like why do some people say that technology does not cause cancer?
Well, it is a debate, and some people, and I read some articles that said that they are not linked because there's other outside factors affecting the people that are getting the non-ionizing radiation. But then, like completely, most of my research said that this does cause cancer, and the source that I got was the National Cancer Institute of the United States. So,
one more question. Okay.
From what I understood, your solutions, like the solution you propose, is to get street addicts to consciously out of like free will give up their addiction. But how do you get an addict to give up their addiction so easily?
well, first of all, screen addiction is not something you might be aware of because you're just using a device. But for example, for me, like I considered myself a screen addict at some point, and my mom said like you're using your screens and your devices way too much. So a lot of my teachers said that. So like you kind of see it on yourself, and people tell you also.
So should we tell each other?
So it's a basis of raising awareness that this exists, because it's not an addiction that many people know it as an addiction.
So should we tell each other? Because I feel as a teacher, sometimes I tell students like, I think your use of technology is inappropriate, and they get mad about it. Like,
That might be a sign of screen addiction.
so it's up to you guys if someone does that to be like, you're an addict. All your fears. Thank you so much.